Hi, my name is Will McCoy, and this is my contract analysis for my media law class. The contract that I'm analyzing is a simple sample contract for employees of a company to sign. The contract includes both non-compete and non-solicitation agreements. I will give a brief summary of the contract and then give my thoughts on it. The contract states the name of the employee, name of the company, and the date on which the agreement becomes effective in the first line. The list of things that you agree to by signing the contract are as follows. The agreement becomes valid on the given date and remains valid until 1 year after your employment with the company ends. Signing the contract does not obligate the employer to specific terms of employment. Next is a non-compete clause. This clause states that you're not allowed to participate in any business activity that is competitive with the company you're working for. This clause remains effective until the termination date of the contract or 1 year after the end of the employment with the company. There's also a factor of distance listed, stating that these competitive actions cannot take place within a certain number of miles from the employment location. In the sample contract, the distance is unspecified. The non-solicitation agreement states that for the effective duration of the contract, the employee may not solicit any employees or contractors of the company for any other businesses or try to convince them to leave the company. For the effective period of the contract, the employee may not disclose any information about the customers or clients of the company. You acknowledge by signing this contract that breaking this contract would cause the company harm and put you at legal risk. If any part of the contract is determined to be illegal, the rest of the contract is still legally binding and can still be enforced. Modifications can only be made in writing with all signing parties present. The jurisdiction under which this contract is enforceable are listed. In this contract, they are listed as blank spaces for you to fill in because this is a sample contract. But presumably, those locations would be the place where the employer is located and the place where the employee is located. And then the contract is signed by the employee and the employer. There are also two more clauses. They are the waiver clause and the prior understandings clause. But I'll talk more on that in a second. This contract is, for the most part, easy to understand. Most of the clauses are standard and straightforward enough. There are two clauses in particular that I'm having a hard time grasping, and they are the clauses that I just mentioned. The prior understandings clause and the waiver clause. I have read over them multiple times, but cannot quite comprehend what they mean in plain terms. The rest of the contract seems fairly straightforward and like a standard terms of employment contract. I'll include my sample contract in the Dropbox for this assignment, and I would love some feedback on those two clauses in particular, just so I can understand a little bit better what they're trying to say. Thanks.